push for tourism. So the topic which we are going to be dealing with today, we're going to be dealing with tourism attractions. So we are going to look at world icons. We are also going to look at world heritage sites. Then we are also going to explore the topic of marketing. So what we'll do, we'll start by going through section C, which is question 4, which consists of tourism attractions. This is a very, very important section simply because it actually contributes 50 marks to the total examination. So the first thing which we'll do, we'll start with an explanation of concepts. So the first thing which we need to do is to define the term tourist attraction. So an attraction is a place or an area or a building or an event of interest that tourists visit for its historical significance, cultural value, natural or human-made beauty, or entertainment purposes. So we need to underline or we need to highlight the key terms here. So the first thing, an attraction can be a place, it can also be an area, it can also be a building, or it can be an event of interest that tourists visit for its historical significance, cultural value. Then it can be natural, and it can also have human-made beauty, or it can provide entertainment opportunities. It can also provide entertainment opportunities. Then moving on, we need to distinguish an attraction from an icon. So an icon in the tourism context, in the context, I would want to emphasize the term context, because for all definitions, you must always contextualize which context are you defining a particular term. So we are defining this from a tourism context. An icon in the tourism context is an attraction. So an icon is also an attraction that is world famous. It is world famous, or it is known globally. And it has symbolic value and is closely associated with a particular destination. So it is closely associated with a particular destination. So we are talking about those types of attractions, which when you think about it, a particular country or a particular destination comes into mind. So I'm going to go through the 14 icons which we are going to be discussing in the year 2024, or which are going to be examined in the year 2024. So here we are going to be going through the different subheadings. We have the picture of the icon, then we have the name of the world icon, then the name of the country, then the name of the city town area. Then there is also an explanation of why it is an icon. So the first picture which we have, which appears there, which is a building with boat-like cells. It is actually known as the Sydney Opera House. So the Sydney Opera House is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. As you can see, there are these two logos which represent a World Heritage Site. Then the country, it is actually Australia. The Sydney Opera House is located in Australia. In terms of the continent, it also remains Australia. Then in terms of the city or the town area, it is located in Sydney. It is located in Sydney. So when it comes to the reasons why it is an icon, it is universally recognized as an architectural masterpiece in the 20th century. So this is one of the best buildings which have been built in the 20th century because of its design and also its construction. So its construction, it actually lasted quite a number of years. Then its appearance is also unique. So no wonder why it is considered to be an icon. So that is the first icon which you need to know. That is the Sydney Opera House, located in Australia. Then its full name is known as the Sydney Opera House. Now moving on to the next icon, we are still in Australia. Then the next icon in Australia, it is actually a natural landmark which is known as the Ayers Rock. Then the indigenous name is known as Uluru Kata Juta National Park. So you can call it the the Ayers Rock or the Uluru Kata Juta National Park. So you need also to acknowledge that it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is located in Australia. Then the the specific area. It is not in a town. It is in a rural landscape. So it is actually in the Northern Territory, the northern part of Australia. That's where you find this particular outstanding rock. Then, in terms of its significance or why it is an icon. So the Uluru or the Ayers rock is unique. So the first thing is that it's unique. Then it is a massive rock formation composed of hard red sandstone. It is also known as an island mountain. Then it is, and two-thirds of the rock is actually buried underground. So we cannot see two-thirds of the rock. It lies underneath. Then you should also consider that it is of religious significance or cultural significance to the indigenous people, the Aborigines, who are known as the Aborigines of Australia. So it also bears religious significance to that particular culture. Then moving on to the next icon. The next icon is actually a statue. As you can see, it is actually a statue. Then this is the statue of Christ the Redeemer. That is the name of the icon. So it is also one of the new 7 wonders of the world. It is one of the new 7 wonders of the world. In terms of location, it is located in South America, specifically in a country called Brazil. It is located in a country called Brazil. Then in terms of the city, the town or the area, it is in the city of Rio de Janeiro. It is located in the city or in the famous city of Rio de Janeiro. Then why is it an icon? With its outstretched arms overlooking the city of Rio de Janeiro, it is one of the most famous statues in the world, and it is known not only for its dramatic location and size, but it is also a symbol of Christianity and peace. So, the reason why it is an icon, it is one of the most famous statues in the world, and for its dramatic location, it is located on a high area overlooking the coastal area next to the sea. Then it is also known as a symbol of Christianity and peace. It is also known as a symbol of Christianity and peace. So this, therefore, gives its religious significance. So that is the third icon which you should focus on in 2024. So moving on to the next icon, we are going to go through the Niagara Falls. It is now known as the Niagara Falls. As you can see, it is also a natural icon. It is a natural feature. Then in terms of location, it is located on the border. It lies on the border of Canada and the United States of America. In other words, we are saying that it is shared by 2 North American countries, namely Canada and the United States of America. All right, the cities where it is located. So the city is Niagara Falls, that is in Ontario, that is in Canada, on the Canadian side. Then in terms of the United States side, it is located in New York, in the United States of America. That is the location of the Niagara Falls. Then the Niagara Falls is the world's most famous natural fall in the world. So it's the world's most natural, most famous waterfall in the world. Then you must also acknowledge the fact that it is one of the biggest and most powerful falls in the world, but it's not exactly the biggest, but the fact that it receives more visitors than any other waterfall in the world, it makes it an icon. It receives more visitors, approximately 10 million visitors a year, which makes it stand out amongst the world's waterfalls. The next icon of importance is known as the Colosseum. That is the Colosseum. It looks like an amphitheater. It looks like an arena. So the Colosseum also is indeed a World Heritage Site recognized by UNESCO. In addition to that, it is one of the new 7 wonders of the world. The location, it is located in Europe. The specific country is Italy. In terms of the city of location, it is in the city of Rome. It is in the city of Rome. Then the Colosseum is the largest amphitheater constructed during the time of the Roman Empire. So it is the largest amphitheater constructed during the era of the Roman Empire. So it represents, or it is regarded as, the greatest example of Roman engineering and architecture. And it is also nearly 2,000 years old, which makes it of so much cultural and historical significance. So the Colosseum is very, very important, and it is also related to other activities or events which took place there. For example, mass executions took place in the Colosseum. In addition to mass execution, it was an amphitheater which was also used for sports, extreme sports. The likes of the gladiators also used to take part in extreme sports in the Colosseum. The next icon is also located in Italy. Then here is the picture of the world icon. It is actually a tower. Then it is known as the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Then in the English now, then in Latin, the Latin name also appears there. It is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Italy. Then the city is known as Pisa. It is located in the city of Pisa. Located in the city of Pisa. Why is it an icon? It's because of its beauty. So the number one is beauty, and the fact that it is tilted. The icon is tilted around 4.5 degrees. It is a leaning tower, and that appears to be unusual. It started leaning during its construction, and it has always stood like that without falling. So it is one of the most recognizable structures in the world. So that is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Moving on to the next icon. We are still in Italy. We come across the city of Venice. I think you can see it in the background there. You can see some of the boats or the gondolas which are used in the city of Venice. So it is known as Venice, or the city of Venice. Then it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Italy. Then, to be precise, the city is Venice. So Venice, that is a city built on 118 islands linked by canals and bridges. So that is unique. It is a city built on 118 small islands. Then those islands are not linked by roads, but rather they are linked by canals and bridges. And it is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and famous for its architecture and also famous for its art. So in terms of importance, it's of architectural, it is architectural value, historical value, then aesthetical value. It is one of the most beautiful cities and famous for its architecture and art. Then the next icon, it is known as the Vatican City. That is the name of the icon. Then also it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Italy. The city precisely, that is the city of Rome. It is in Rome. Then Vatican City is also known as the Vatican and is the world's smallest independent city-state. So the Vatican City is a city-state within Italy. So Vatican City is known as the Vatican, is the world's smallest independent city-state. So that is the headquarters or the city of the Roman Catholic Church. I think you are aware that the Roman Catholic Church is actually the biggest church in the world, and it's ruled by its head, who is known as the Pope. So that is the headquarters of the first church, which was the Roman Catholic Church, and the biggest church in the world, which is the Roman Catholic Church. Then moving on to the next icon. The next icon is the Great Pyramids of Giza. So they appear here, the Great Pyramids of Giza. So it's not only one pyramid, there is one biggest pyramid, but there are a collection of also pyramids in that part of the world. So the Great Pyramids of Giza, they are also UNESCO World Heritage Sites. They are also UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Then in addition to that, they are located in Egypt. The name of the city is Giza, the city of Giza. So why do we consider these to be icons? So there are quite a number of reasons why we consider the pyramids of Giza to be icons. The pyramids of Giza were constructed over 4,500 years ago, and they still survive today. So they were constructed a long time ago as massive tombs for the Egyptian pharaohs. So the symbols, the pyramids are actually symbols of Egyptian history and culture. They symbolize or they represent Egyptian history and culture. They also serve as evidence of the ancient Egyptians' technical advancement. They also serve to exhibit the advancement of Egyptian technology and also Egyptian architecture. So they are of historical importance, scientific importance, then they are also of architectural importance. So that is the pyramids of Giza. Moving on to the next icon, also located in Egypt, that is the Sphinx. So the Sphinx is also considered to be a World Heritage Site located in Egypt, the continent to be specific, that is in Africa. The city is Giza. Then in terms of its importance or its significance, why is it considered to be an icon? The Sphinx is a large statue of a creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human. So it's a large statue which has two features. So the body part, it represents a lion, but with a head of a human. So it is carved out of a single block of limestone and is one of the largest and most recognizable statues in the world and a symbol of Egypt. So it is recognized world over, and it is one of the largest and most recognized statues in the world. So that is the Sphinx. The next icon is the Berlin Wall. So the Berlin Wall is located in Germany. It is located in Germany, that is in Western Europe. The city is Berlin. It was built in 1961. The Berlin Wall was a concrete wall separating West Berlin from East Berlin in East Germany. So it symbolized the division between democracy and communism during the Cold War. During the Cold War, East Berlin and West Berlin were divided by something which was called the Iron Curtain. So the Berlin Wall, it is a representative. It actually represents the history of the Cold War. It is an important symbol which represents the history of the division of the world into capitalist systems and also into communist systems. The next icon, also in Germany, is known as the Black Forest. It's known as the Black Forest, located in Germany. It is actually located in the Baden-Württemberg state. That is where it is located. So the Black Forest is known for its beautiful scenery. So it has beautiful scenery consisting of mountains covered with pine and fir-like trees. Then it was also valleys, lakes, and mineral springs, and picturesque villages, which give a very, very good scenic view of the landscape. So that is the Black Forest. Moving on to the next icon, which is a man-made icon. It is known as the Great Wall of China, part of the new 7 Wonders of the World, also recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Location, that is China. The city is actually Beijing, located in the city of Beijing. So the Great Wall of China dates back to 2,000 years ago and is the world's longest human-made defensive structure. So the first thing, it is of historical importance. Why? Simply because it dates back to 2,000 years ago. That is a long time ago. So it is the world's longest human-made defensive structure. It is not only a symbol of China's history and culture, but it is a testament to ancient Chinese determination and engineering skills. So it is something which shows Chinese determination and also Chinese engineering skills. So that is the Great Wall of China. So these are the icons which you are supposed to focus on in 2024. So let me go through them, just a brief run through them. So the Sydney Opera House 1, Ayers Rock 2, Statue of Christ the Redeemer 3, Niagara Falls 4, Colosseum 5, Leaning Tower of Pisa 6, then Venice 7, Vatican City, 8. The Great Pyramids of Pisa, 9. Then the Sphinx, 10. The Berlin Wall, 11. The Black Forest, 12. The Great Wall of China, 13. So all in all, there are 13 icons which you need to study for in 2024. Now, moving on to the next part of the concepts, we also need to look at factors contributing to the success of an attraction. In order for an attraction to be successful, there are factors which contribute to the success of an icon. So the first factor which I would want to single out is excellent marketing of tourism products internationally, locally, or intentionally. So this can be done through a number of ways. In the 21st century, this can be done through a number of ways. So marketing can be done through using the traditional methods such as brochures. It can also be done through travel shows and exhibitions. It can also be done through travel shows and exhibitions. It can also be done through the internet. The internet has become a new way of marketing. So internet platforms can be used, and even social media platforms can be used to market different destinations in order to make them much more successful. So that is the first that is the first factor contributing to the success of an attraction. So the next factor, we also have sustainable and responsible management plans. So when you talk about this factor, we also need to include things like the 3 pillars of sustainable and responsible tourism. So the 3 pillars, that's where you talk about the 3 pillars of sustainable and responsible tourism. When you talk about people, when you talk about the planet, and profit. That's where sustainable and responsible management plans come into play. So when a tourism business is managed to balance the 3 pillars of sustainable tourism, which are the people, the planet, and the profit, that would result in success of a tourist attraction. Then the next, moving on to the next or the third feature, or the third factor, we also have efficient and ethical behavior of staff management, which creates a positive experience for the visitors. So when the staff behave or conduct themselves in an efficient way, in an ethical way, it actually results in the positive experience of visitors. So visitors would end up enjoying themselves, then they'll end up visiting the site or the attraction over and over again. So the more visitors are coming to the site, the more successful the site becomes. The next factor, that is the issue of safety and crime prevention. This is a major issue, safety and crime prevention. When tourists travel into new places, they would want to feel safe. They would want to feel assured that they won't become victims of crime. Safety and crime prevention is a major issue when it comes to the success of an attraction. So most tourists would want to visit places which are safe, places which are crime-free. So if a tourist becomes a victim of crime or a victim of a disaster, they are most likely to go and spread a negative word of mouth to the rest of the tourists. Then the next feature or the next factor is the general appearance and upkeep of the attraction. When an attraction is well maintained and when it's properly looked after, when grass is well trimmed, trees and bushes well management, and also toilets well cleaned, and also floors maintained, it will give a good general appearance and it would attract more tourists. So most tourists would want to visit cleaner areas which are litter-free, which are properly maintained. So that also increases the success of an attraction. The next factor is considering the needs of people with disabilities. Tourism businesses should also bear in mind that there are some tourists who might be having disabilities. So they are equally as important as people who do not have abilities. So when you are designing tourist attractions, you must make sure that you also cater for the handicapped, for people who are visually impaired, people who are wheelchair bound, so that you can accommodate everyone. So that actually boosts the success of an attraction. The next factor is universal access. Universal access is catering for the needs of various people, regardless of their social status, regardless of their cultural background, or regardless of their sexual orientation. So that is universal access. You must cater for different people's needs. Then, having discussed these factors, we need to move on to the characteristics of a successful tourist attraction. If a tourist attraction actual number of visitors exceeds the target number of visitors, for successful attractions, they actually end up limiting the number of visitor numbers, simply because they would have gone beyond their initial target numbers. Then they also experience something called repeat visits. That is when people or when tourists continuously repeat visiting an icon. They would continuously come back to an icon or an attraction which they have visited before, simply because they had a positive experience. They would continuously come and visit that particular icon. Then a successful attraction also has a positive impact on the local community. It is actually popular, or it is actually supported by the local community, since it also benefits the local economy, it also benefits the local people, it also benefits the local environment. That is another characteristic of a successful attraction. So these are the concepts which you need to master, or which you need to grasp when you are approaching this part of the question. So now moving on to the actual questions, examination questions themselves, practice questions. We are going to start with activity number 4.1. So it reads, you came across an old photo album belonging to your grandmother. Study the 6 photographs from A to E of a world tour in your album below and answer the questions that follow. So it reads, our world tour 1962. So we have icon A up until icon D. Then moving on up until E, we also have E at the bottom. So the question reads, identify the icons and the countries in the photographs A to D that your grandmother visited on your world tour. So going back to the icons, we are going to identify 2 things. The question requires 2 things: the name of the icon. Then in addition to that, they also need the country. So the first icon will be, the first icon which you are going to identify would be, it is known as the Sphinx. Why are we saying the Sphinx? Simply because the Sphinx fits the description of a giant statue with a lion's body and the head of a human being. So the Sphinx, as earlier discussed, it is actually located in Egypt. It is located in Egypt. So that is the Sphinx. The Sphinx is located in Egypt. The Sphinx is located in Egypt. The Sphinx is actually located in Egypt. Then moving on to B, the B, that is the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China. Located in China as well. It is located in China. That is icon B. Then moving on to the next one. The next one will be, this is the Black Forest. You can see the forest which is in the background there. So that is the Black Forest. The location is Berlin. The location is Germany. The country is, the name of the country is Germany. Apologies. The name of the country is Germany. Then the next icon, as you can see those structures which are pyramids. So these are the pyramids of Giza. These are the pyramids of Giza. In terms of location, the pyramids of Giza are located in Egypt. The pyramids of Giza are located in Egypt. Then moving to the next one, which is E. As you can see, I think you can notice that it is a large rock. So the large rock which we have amongst our icons, we have Ayers Rock, which is also known as Uluru, located in Australia. So those are the icons from A up until E. Now moving on to the next question. Give the number of countries your grandmother visited on year 1962 tour. So we need to identify the number of countries from the previous icons. So the first country, obviously, it will be Egypt, which is 1. The next country is China, 2. Germany, 3. Then in terms of the pyramids of Giza, we are not counting them because we have already mentioned Egypt. Then the next one is Ayers Rock, that is 4. So the correct answer for this particular question is the grandmother visited, or my mother visited 4 countries. 4 countries. All right, the next question reads, name the continent she did not visit. So let's go back to the icons. We need to identify where they are located. So the first one, the Sphinx in Egypt, located in Africa. Then the Great Wall of China, it is located in, so I'll be writing the name of the continents down. All right, so this one is located in Africa. Then this one, Asia. The next one, Europe. Then the Great Pyramids, it's Africa again. It's Africa again. Then the last one is Australia. So as you can see, the country which was not visited in this case, or the continent which was not visited, is actually the continent which was not visited in this case, it is actually South America. South America does not appear on those icons which were visited. So we write South America. Then the next question reads, identify 1 country she visited in the Southern Hemisphere. So if you look at these different countries, they are in different parts of the world. If you look at the Egyptian Sphinx, it is located in the Northern Hemisphere. The Great Wall of China in the Northern Hemisphere. Then the Black Forest in the Northern Hemisphere. The Pyramids of Giza in the Northern Hemisphere. Then when we come to Australia, the Ayers Rock. This one is located in the southern hemisphere. So Australia is located in the southern hemisphere. Moving on to the next question. Activity 4.2. Study the map below that shows a world tour to famous icons and answer the questions that follow. Two tourists are going on a world tour and will visit some of the most famous world icons. Match the icons A to D with the countries, 4.2.1 up to 4.2.4. Write only the question number 4.21 and the letter of the icon A to H and the country where it is located in the answer book. For example, 4.2.5E, South Africa. So the question requires us to match the icons A to D with the countries. So we need to match different icons A to D with the country. So here are the icons. So I'll start with A. A, that is the statue of Christ the Redeemer. That is the statue of Christ the Redeemer. So the statue of Christ the Redeemer is located in South America. So South America lies there. This is A. This is where you find icon A. So this one is directly linked to A. So I'll just illustrate it like this for easier reference. So that is the first one. Then moving on to B. When we are looking at B, B is actually the Great Sphinx and also the Great Pyramids of Giza, which are located in Africa. So I'll add to link so that they locate straight to Africa. So this is where B is located. Then moving on to the next one. The next one, this is the Sydney Opera House, which is located in Australia. So I'm going to link it to the continent of origin. This is the location of C. Then the next one, moving on to D. D is the Great Wall of China. So the Great Wall of China is located in Asia. It is located in Asia, which is 4.2.1. So this is D. Then I'm also going to write their names on top of each and every place. So A, obviously, that is the statue of Christ the Redeemer. The statue of Christ. That is the statue of the Christ the Redeemer. Then the pyramids of Giza. The pyramids of Giza and Sphinx. And also the Egyptian Sphinx. Then the next one, that is Sydney. Opera House. The last one, that is the Great Wall. The last one is the Great Wall of China. So all in all, these are the icons, their locations, and also their names. So that is end of this particular question. So each one, A, can be traced to the continent of Southern America, which is the statue of Christ the Redeemer. B, that is the pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx. C, that is the Sydney Opera House. Then the last one, the Great Wall of China, which is located in Asia. So it is important for you also to know their different locations on the world map. Then activity 4.3. Tourists are visiting famous icons across the world. Study the world map below and identify each of the icons visited by tourists. Write the name of the icon next to the question, numbers 4.3.1 up to 4.3.7. So one of the most famous or spectacular waterfalls in the world, that is known as Niagara Falls. That is known as Niagara Falls. Then one of the last 7 wonders of the world, that is the Egyptian pyramids, the Great Pyramids. That is the Great Pyramids of Giza. Then a symbol of Christianity, that is the statue of Christ the Redeemer. That is the statue of Christ the Redeemer. Then the next one, a freestanding tower, bell tower, that is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Tower of Pisa. Then the next one, a sacred 600 million year old landmark. This is known as the Ayers. That is the Ayers rock. Then this one, which looks like the sails of a ship, is called Sydney Opera House. Then this one, it is 21,196 kilometers. That is the Great Wall of China. So those are the different icons which are in various locations in the world. So starting with the first one, just a rundown. The Ayers Rock is a 600 million year old sacred landmark. Then moving on to the second one, 3.2, one of the most spectacular waterfalls in the world, that is the Niagara Falls. One of the last wonders of the world, that is the Great Pyramids of Giza, a symbol of Christianity, statue of Christ the Redeemer. Then the Sydney Opera House, it looks like the sails of a ship. Then the Great Wall of China, it is 21,196 kilometers long. Then moving on to the next one, we also have activity 4.4. Refer to the icons below and answer the questions that follow. So even before we answer the question, we should be in a position to be able to identify each of those icons even at first glance. So if you look at the first one, this is the Colosseum, which we say that it is the largest amphitheater, ancient amphitheater. So this is the Colosseum. Then these are the Great Pyramids of Giza. These are the Great Pyramids of Giza. Then this is the Leaning Tower. Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. Now we go on to the next stage. Identify the country where Tower C is located. So if you look at Tower C, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is located in Italy. It is located in Italy. Then, referring to the above picture, identify the most unusual structural feature of Tower C. Tower C is tilted. C is tilted at 4.5 degrees. It looks as if it's about to fall. Like it is about to fall. Seems as if the tower is about to fall. But it has been always like that for quite a number of centuries. So it suggests one environmental aspect that has led to this unusual feature. So you can actually mention that during its construction or during the time when it was constructed, there was an instability. So you can say instability of the ground. Instability of the ground because of underground water. Underground water. So it was built in an area which had unstable ground, simply because there was also underground water, which undermined its foundation. So as a result, the structure ended up bending as if it's about to fall. But surprisingly, it hasn't fallen from the time it was built. It has been standing there for several centuries. Then 4.4.4, 4.4.3, identify icon A, which we have already done. That is the Colosseum. That is known as the Colosseum. So that is the Colosseum. Then in terms of the information, give one fact on the history of icon B. So that is the largest amphitheater that is the largest amphitheater of the Roman Empire. That is the largest amphitheater of the Roman Empire. In addition to that, mass executions took place there. The mass killing of people took place there. It is also known for, it is a symbol of Roman architecture, of Roman Empire. It is a symbol of the Roman Empire. So it is actually a symbol of the Roman Empire. Then identify one feature common to icons A and B. So if you look at A and B, what is so common about them? So you can also say that these both icons are associated with the ancient world. Both icons are associated with ancient history. Both icons are associated with ancient civilizations. So the first one represents the Roman civilization, which is the Colosseum represents Roman civilization. This represented the Roman civilization. Then B represents Egyptian civilization. So that is the similarity between these two icons. They represent Egypt, different civilization or history of different great nations. Then in addition to that, they are all, both of outstanding, both have outstanding architecture. So both have outstanding architecture. They are built in a special way, which makes them special. So that is what is common amongst those two icons. Moving on to activity 4.5, various possible answers are provided for each of the following questions. Write the letter only of the correct answer next to the corresponding number on the answer sheet. The difference between an icon and an attraction. So the first thing which we are going to do is an attraction. We are going to define an attraction. An attraction is a place, area, building, event, or feature which attracts tourists or which tourists would want to experience. Tourists would like to experience. All right, so that is the definition of an icon. Now moving on to, that is the definition of an attraction. Now moving on to the definition of an icon. So an icon is an attraction which symbolizes a destination. It is an attraction symbolizing a destination. A destination. So another thing you can also say is a world famous attraction. An icon is a world famous attraction symbolizing a destination. So an attraction can be just an ordinary place which can be of national importance or continental importance, which attracts tourists or which tourists would want to experience. But on the other hand, an icon is a world famous attraction symbolizing a destination. That is where the big difference is. So we have made the distinction. So now we are going to pick up the correct answer then. So the one which resonates well with our definition given up there is we need to pick up the correct letter. So an attraction is a feature a tourist want to experience, while a icon is a symbol representing a destination. So letter A is the most suitable of the responses. Letter A or answer A is the most suitable amongst all those responses. Now let's move on to the next one. 4.5.2, the Ayers Rock is a monolith found in this country. A monolith is a giant rock. So the Ayers Rock is found in Australia. You actually get it in Australia. So it is found in Australia. Then these icons are found in Egypt. So the two icons which are found in Egypt, we have the Great Pyramids of Giza. Then we also have the Sphinx. So our correct answer then would be the Great Pyramids of Giza together with the Sphinx. Then 4.5.4, the Niagara Falls are located on the border between USA and Canada. They are located on the border between the United States of America and Canada. 2 icons found in Rome. So we know very well that in Rome, we have the first one, which is A, that is the Colosseum. This is the Colosseum. It is found in Rome. Then the next one is the Vatican City. The next one is the Vatican City. So the 2 icons are icon A and B, which makes our answer A to be the correct answer. Then moving on to the next one. Now we are moving on to yet a different section. We are moving on to a different section, but related also to attractions. So this is, we're going to be dealing mainly with World Heritage sites. We're going to be dealing mainly with World Heritage sites. So I need to clarify or to deal with 1 or 2 concepts which appear there. So the first thing which we should do, we should start by a definition of World Heritage sites. What exactly are World Heritage sites? We should have a clear understanding of our World Heritage sites. So World Heritage sites, the first thing, you find them in section C under cultural heritage and tourism, a very, very important topic which you need to master well. All right, so the first thing is World Heritage sites are places of outstanding value. That is the first thing which we need to highlight. They have outstanding value to the extent that they are awarded, they are internationally recognized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, which is abbreviated as UNESCO. They are world famous. Then they have also been given international recognition. So in addition to that, they are also protected by UNESCO. Another thing which you need to know is the role of UNESCO. What is the purpose of this organization, which is called UNESCO? So UNESCO has so many functions. So the first thing is it monitors and maintains and also protects the status of World Heritage Site. They are responsible for monitoring and also protecting the status of World Heritage Site. How do they do that? They provide support in terms of management plans. They provide support in terms of management plans. They suggest plans which can be used to manage those particular sites. Then they also assist with the upgrading of facilities in the event of an unforeseen occurrence. For example, if an attraction is affected by an earthquake or if it is affected by a flood, UNESCO provides facilities to upgrade that particular site. In addition to that, in order for everything to take place, there should be money. So the role of UNESCO is to provide financial aid in case of unforeseen occurrences. Then it also engages relevant stakeholders when World Heritage sites are threatened. It also engages stakeholders when World Heritage sites are threatened. That is another important role. It also educates people or creates awareness about World Heritage sites, and together with promoting of cooperation and development, then it also encourages people to nominate even new World Heritage sites. It encourages people to nominate sites to be included in the World Heritage Site lists. Then it also supports countries in building awareness for the protection of World Heritage Sites. Then it also encourages the local population to preserve their cultural and natural heritage. So ones which are highlighted are the main roles or the main duties of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Now, moving on to the list of different World Heritage Sites which we have in South Africa. So the first World Heritage Site is known as the Cradle of Humankind, but it has since changed its name. I would outline the official name which should be written in there when you're answering examination question. So it was declared in 1999. The year of declaration appears there. In terms of the province, that is Gauteng province. It is a cultural type of a heritage site which meets criteria 2 and criteria 5, which we'll encounter in the next slide. Moving on to the next World Heritage Site, which is called Mapungubwe World Cultural Landscape. nominated in 2003. It is located in the province of Limpopo. Cultural World Heritage Site, which meets the criteria, 2, 3, then also 4 and 5. Then we have the Richtersveld Cultural and Botanical Landscape, located in the Northern Cape. It is located in the Northern Cape. Northern Cape, it is cultural. Then it meets criteria 4 and 5. Then we have also the Komani Cultural Landscape, which meets Komani Cultural Landscape, declared in 2007. Northern Cape, it meets the cultural. Then it meets criteria 1, 3, 7, and 5. The Cape Floral Region is another Cape Floral Region protected areas nominated or declared in 2004. Then in the Western Cape, it is a natural World Heritage Site, meets criteria 9 and also meets criteria 10. Then we have Isimangaliso Wetland Park, declared in 1999 in KwaZulu-Natal. It is a natural type which meets criteria 7, criteria 9, and criteria 10. The Fredaford Dome, declared in 2005, meets in the Free State. It meets the natural, it falls in the natural type and meets criteria 8. Then you also have the Bebaton Makonjwa Mountains, declared in 2018 in Mpumalanga. Natural, meets criteria 8. Ukatlamba Drakensberg Park, declared in 2000, then meets, it is located in KwaZulu-Natal, a mixed type of World Heritage Site meeting criteria 1, 3, 7, and 10. So these are the 10 World Heritage Sites. I'll also give you their official names, which you are supposed to be using in the examination briefly. So you must know them, their province, their type, and also their criteria. It is important for you to know those things. Now, the value of World Heritage Sites to South Africa. So World Heritage Sites, they receive national and international recognition, which results in increased visitor numbers. So an increase in tourist numbers will lead to job creation due to the increased demand of services. These tourism will generate income due to a higher demand of services. Then the standards of living will be improved through money directly or indirectly by tourism. So that is the importance of World Heritage Sites to South Africa. They bring more tourists. As they bring more tourists, South Africa also stands to benefit from what we call the multiplier effect. So the location of the World Heritage Sites on a map of South Africa. So we have different heritage sites dotted around different parts of South Africa. So I think you can see where each of the World Heritage Sites lies. I'll start with the first one. The first one is Mapungubwe. So Mapungubwe is located in the northernmost part of South Africa in Limpopo province. Then to the left, to the right, we have the Bebaton Makonjwa Mountains, which are considered to be the oldest rocks in the world. Then immediately below that, we have Isimangaliso on the eastern side, Isimangaliso Western Wetland Park, which is considered to be one of the areas with the greatest biodiversity of fauna. Then we have Ukatlamba Drakensberg Mountain, or Drakensberg Park, which has an abundant collection of sand rock art, and together with the mountainous regions, which is also of importance. The Fredaford Dome is a large crater created by a meteorite which fell from space several years ago, you can say millions of years ago. We also have the Cradle of Humankind located in Gauteng, which represents the largest collection of fossil remains of the oldest human fossil remains in the world. We also have the Komani Cultural Landscape, which is located on the northernmost corner of the northwestern corner of the country. Then we have the Richtersveld Cultural and Botanical Landscape, which is in the Northern Cape. We also have the Cape Floral and Protected Regions, which are located in the Western Cape. Then finally, there is Robben Island. So these are the various locations of the various World Heritage Sites in South Africa. In addition to that, we also have the logo for UNESCO. You need to know the logo for UNESCO. This is the logo for UNESCO. Then the next one, if you see it on a map, it represents a World Heritage Site. So those are the 10 World Heritage Sites. So the 10 UNESCO criteria to select WHS. Criteria number 1, it should represent a master of human creative genius. Criteria 2, it should exhibit important exchange of human values over a span of time or within a cultural area to the world. So that is criteria number 1 and number 2. Then number 3 is to bear a unique or at least exceptional testimony to cultural tradition to a civilization which is living or which has disappeared. For example, the Komani cultural landscape, it represents the civilization of the San people who are still living amongst us today. Then the next one, to be an outstanding example of a type of a building, architectural, technological ensemble and landscape which demonstrates significant changes in human and literary works of outstanding universal significance. That is the next criteria. Then the next one, to be an outstanding example of traditional human settlement or land use to which is representative of a culture, especially when it has become vulnerable under the impact of irreversible change. That's where Komani cultural landscape also become relevant. Then the next criteria, to be directly linked or tangible associated with events or living traditions. Komani also comes into play here. To be of outstanding examples representing major stages in the Earth's history, including a record of life, ongoing geological process in the development of landscape or significant geomorphic physiography features. The Beaverton Makunjo Mountains, the Frederick Dome are related to this. Then the next one, to contain the superlative natural phenomena of areas of exceptional natural beauty and aesthetic importance. That's where the Cape Floral region becomes also relevant there. So to contain the most important and significant natural habitat for an in situ conservation of biological diversity, including those containing threatened species of outstanding value from the point of view of the science conservation. So those are the different criteria. Actually, there are 10 all in all, which World Heritage Sites should meet at least one in order for them to be considered to be World Heritage Sites. Now, moving on to activity 5.1, examine the map of South Africa's World Heritage Sites below and answer the questions that follow. So moving on to the map which is there, it actually has a caption, travel to South Africa's World Heritage Sites, South Africa. So the first one, we have Mapungubwe Cultural Landscape, which is on the northern side, Komani, Rickersveld, Frederick, and the hominid fossil sites, Ismangaliso. Then we also have Maluti, Drakensberg, and the Frederick Dome. So the other names used in South Africa for some World Heritage Sites include, so the fossil hominid sites is now the new name or the correct name. That is now the new name. So instead of using the cradle of humankind, let's call it the fossil hominid sites of Southern Africa. Then the Maluti Drakensberg Park, that is the new name for Ukahlamba Drakensberg Park. That is the new name for Ukahlamba Drakensberg Park. Then moving on to 5.1.1, write the letter of the World Heritage Site located in Limpopo. So obviously the World Heritage Site located in Limpopo will be Mapungubwe. Mapungubwe is the letter of the World Heritage Site located in Limpopo province. So that will be Mapungubwe. That is the letter of the World Heritage Site located in Limpopo province. All right, so the letter for Mapungubwe will be letter A. Then name the province where the World Heritage Site B is located. So let's look at B. B is Ismangaliso. Ismangaliso. Then name the World Heritage Site that includes new seven wonders of nature. That is the Cape Floral region. That is the Cape Floral region. Cape Floral. That is the Cape Floral region. Then 5.1.5, give one reason why the Rickersfeld is declared World Heritage Site. So the Rickersfeld, it actually meets the following criteria, which was discussed in the previous slide. It is it represents the criteria. It actually represents criteria 5 and also criteria 4. So when you go to criteria 5 and 4, to be outstanding example of type of building, architectural or technological example, which illustrates significant stages in human history or and literary works of outstanding beauty. Or it is of outstanding example of traditional human settlement or land use, which is done by the Khoisan, by the San people. So it represents criteria 4 and criteria 5. Of UNESCO. Then give two names of two heritage sites that represent the following ancient cultures. So obviously we have Mapungubwe. Then we have Komani cultural landscape. Then the next one is the fossil hominid sites of Southern Africa. Of South Africa. The difference between Ismangaliso. Ismangaliso is known for its biodiversity. Ismangaliso it has of flora. Then the other one, the Cape Floral region, it has the largest biodiversity of fauna. Sorry, word of correction. The Cape Floral region of plants. So that is the difference between the two. So the next one reads, read the information below and answer the questions that follow. The Komani cultural landscape had been declared a World Heritage Site shows the acknowledgement by UNESCO of the universal value and importance of this site as a living heritage. The Komani and other San tribes are unique in that they descend directly from an ancient group that existed in southern Africa many thousands of years ago. The Komani had a nomadic, constantly moving around culture and lived off the land. They used plants for medicinal purposes. Few of the tribe members still practice their traditional hunter-gatherer lifestyle. The Komani Seven are skilled trekkers using traps, spears, bows, and arrows coated with snake venom, poison, or poisonous plants when hunting. Many of the Komani also earn an income from tourism by selling traditional jewelry and artifacts to tourists. So, name the province from which the article, or the province that is actually the Northern Province, the Northern Cape. That is the Northern Cape. State the type of World Heritage Site of Komani according to UNESCO's classification. So it is actually, if you go back to the type where where I gave you a table which has the different types, you can see that the Komani cultural landscape, it is actually a cultural landscape. Even the description itself, it fits the cultural part. So Komani is cultural landscape. According to UNESCO, it is a cultural Then explain one reason why this World Heritage Site is referred to as a living heritage site. In a paragraph, discuss how Komani how the Komani landscape being declared a World Heritage Site will support the readout development strategy for the Komani. Your paragraph must include improved quality of life, cultural pride, and sustainability. All right. The first thing is the Sen, or you can call them the Khoisan or Nam nomadic hunter-gatherers still live in the Komani area practicing the lifestyle of their ancestors. They still practice the lifestyle of their ancestors. So the second thing which we need to include is that the San people, can benefit from tourism through visits and selling cultural artifacts. And secondly, infrastructure can also be developed around their area. They can also earn income from the multiplier effect. They can also earn income from the multiplier effect. That is how the San people can benefit from this particular World Heritage Site. All right, moving on to the next question. Match the description below. Match the description in column A with the name of the World Heritage Site in B. So if you look at the site which includes Swartkrans and Kromdraai, it is known as B, the hominid fossil sites of southern Africa. That is B. Then a meteorite 10 kilometer in diameter hit the Earth, creating an enormous crater. That is known as D, which is the Frederick Dome. Then the next one, the site is a symbol of triumph of democracy over oppression. The name of that particular site, it is Robben Island. So Robben Island in this case is A. Then a site that is the largest estuaries, river mouth systems in Africa. The site is also known for its exceptional biodiversity. That is known as Ismangaliso, which is C. Then 5.3.5, an area that covers about 160,000 hectares of mountainous desert. The site is owned by a community that, until declaration of this site, had little to call their own. That is known as the Richtersveld cultural botanical landscape. So those are the relevant answers for that particular part of that particular question. Now moving on to the next one. Then the Bebaton Makujuga Mountains, the 10th World Heritage Site, refer to the picture below and answer the questions that follow. Identify the province where the World Heritage Site is located. So this is Mpumalanga province. Then discuss two reasons why tourists are encouraged to follow the Genesis route. It provides scenic views. It is safer. It is actually safer for tourists to follow the Genesis route. It is safer. It has plenty of adventure. Adventure. Then there's plenty of wildlife. Opportunities for photography. Opportunities. So that is these are some of the reasons why it is of importance. So the flash floods caused major road closures between Butler's and Lebanon. Explain how the poor condition of the roads can negatively impact on visitor numbers. All right, so you can actually say that visitors can cancel trips. Then lack of accessibility of movement affects tourism. Lack of movement would affect tourism, resulting in a decline of income. So these are some of the things which can happen if the roads are affected. So the next question, which will be the last question under World Heritage Sites. So study the map below and answer the questions that follow. DISA charters connecting you to South Africa's World Heritage Sites in South Africa. All right. So this is DISA Charters, a company that caters for individual needs or tourists. DISA Charters offers daily flights from KwaZulu-Natal to Gauteng, the Northern Cape, and the Western Cape. Name two World Heritage Sites tourists will visit when they visit DISA Charters to each of the following provinces. So when they visit the Northern Cape, obviously, they'll come across Komani cultural landscape. Then there's also the Richtersveld, botanical and cultural landscape. Those are the two. Then in Western Cape, Cape Floral region, and Robben Island. And Robben Island. 5.5.3, identify the World Heritage Sites in Gauteng. That will be the fossil hominid sites of South Africa. Africa, which is formerly known as the cradle of humankind. So the old name is known, I will write it in brackets. So the old name is known as the cradle of humankind. So that is what you would find in Gauteng. So for now, this brings us to the end of the topic of World Heritage Sites. So the upcoming topic will be